and our brothers and sisters who are fighting at the front lines for our people in Gaza.
Isn't this like such a funny display showing the difference between white feminism and what it actually means to be a feminist and advocate for what's right? Because here she is accepting a Person of the Year award at Harvard and dedicating her speech to Palestinian people, while white women on this app are tweaking over a made-up fan cast and harassing this 19-year-old on her Instagram. Like, even she was weirded out.
If a brand not making my size doesn't give me grounds to talk shit or degrade them, then why am I still in their mission statement? Why do they call themselves size inclusive, even though they stop at an XXL? Why do they say they make clothes for everybody, even though they stop at a size 20? Why do they say that they empower all women when they stop at an XL? Do riddle me that. And I think this whole conversation is about audacity. But you seem to have more of a problem with my audacity as a fat person than brands' audacities to take our confidence, our joy, and use it to sell mediums and larges. And you think that I need to be a medium or a large before I deserve to feel fashionable, to feel confident. This is all about audacity. And there is no issue when it comes to other conversations of inclusion, but plus size clothing is where you're drawing a line. And that's very telling. But do let me tell you and tell everybody else that I will continue to let brands know that if you're going to include me in the mission statement, you will also include me in the size chart.
Burn the government and the president, burn the White House, all the monuments, burn all the lives that we fought, burn the history we've been taught.
Bitches can't be beefing about no niggas. That loud. Hold up, niggas should be beefing over bitches. That's all. Hey.
You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim.
Please don't scroll. This is very important. The name Sultanat Nikanova has become notorious in my home country of Kazakhstan over the past few months. Sultanat was brutally murdered by her husband, ex-minister of economy Kondak Bishimbayev. The murder occurred on November 9th, 2023 in a restaurant. He beat her to death in a restaurant. Over the past few days, we have all been anxiously following the court case. It has almost been 5 months since the date of the murder, and there had been so much substantial proof presented. Security camera footage, videos, photos, witnesses. Yet, Bishimbayev's lawyer still has the nerve to ask Sultanat's brother at Bekamangilde stupid questions like, what was their relationship like? Did she dominate him? How did she feel about him trying to dominate her? Did she post on Instagram? Was she jealous? How did she feel about men cheating? I'm sorry, but what difference does this make? None of this matters. It doesn't matter what the relationship was like or who dominated, because he killed a person. Nothing is going to change that. Nothing is going to change the fact that she is dead. Nothing is going to make her any less dead. Sultanat is dead. And Khandur Bishambayev himself does not admit any guilt. This whole thing is very scary, especially for me as a Kazakhstani woman, because I know that if something happens to me, no one at home is going to protect me. I don't have anyone to rely on with my safety. And even if I'm dead, like Sultanat, there's still going to be people who are going to say that it is my fault. But the scariest thing about this is that it is not special. It happens all the freaking time in Kazakhstan, everywhere around the world. Women get murdered by their family everywhere around the world all the time. We can't let this one slide. Bishambayev is the ex-minister of economy of Kazakhstan, and he is rich enough and influential enough to be able to get away with this, and we cannot let this happen. Spread the word. Say her name. Remember her name. Her name is Sultanat Nikanova. And I really hate the fact that her name is only known by her death. You know, like right now I'm speaking about her and I'm trying to get justice for her and I want justice for her, but I don't know anything about her except for the fact that she was murdered. What was her favorite color? What was her favorite food? Did she like stars? Did she like long walks? What was her life's work? Did she have a life's work? I am urging all of you to not make this about the fact that she died. Let's make this about the fact that she lived, and that matters, and that was taken away from her. And if we can help get justice for Sultanat, it is not just going to be justice for her and her family. It is going to be justice for us, for you, and for me. This is an unplanned costume change, but I just wanted to remind you guys to please interact with this post. Really, it is going to take 5 seconds out of your life to repost, to like, to add to favorites, comment anything. You can comment anything. You can comment grass is green. I don't care. Interact with this post to promote it so that more people see it. We need to get as many of you informed and involved as we possibly can. We can achieve constitutional amends regarding domestic violence. And you can play your part by doing something as simple as interacting with the post or spreading awareness by telling your friends about the cause. If you're up for it, spread the information on your own social media. Talk. Raise your voice. Talk and share the information. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your efforts.
Well, I reckon I cried most of the way coming here.
How old were you?
I was 3 years of age in 1970 when I came
3
here.
years of age?
Yeah. Well, they thought what they were doing was in my best interests. I guess what I felt was my heart being shattered, not knowing whether I'll see my mother again or my grandparents.
3?
Some families have their children snatched just after birth. As the years went by, I started to realise, and I realised it by looking at the other kids, that we're not leaving.
Tony was only released when he turned 18. It's one thing to know about this. It's a completely different experience being here and seeing it face to face, which is why Jim and Tony want the site preserved.
I mean, it's a stench that is part of the history of this country.
I am profoundly shocked, deeply saddened, and very, very angry.
Getting angry is not going to resolve it, though, for us. It's Australia's history. We need to be able to work through this in the spirit of reconciliation, but we won't get there unless there's truth, justice and healing. We've got to heal from this.
Yeah, that's rape. And also, for those who are commenting like that's a joke, it absolutely is not a joke to the millions and millions of women who have had to endure forced sex by their partners who are living through this. That is absolutely not a joke at all. Like, tell me what's funny about sexual assault?
Well, I hope this doesn't seem too impolite, but Ted Bundy was just never that fucking bright. He was just sort of charismatic and white, alright? And he was so fucking sure he had the right. But he's ugly, and I'm glad he's dead, cause there was no fucking candle in his pumpkin head. You're not special for winning a game with someone who you know was never playing. She could have killed you, she had every right. You just caught her off guard tonight.
Please stop scrolling and watch this whole video because the women of Kazakhstan need you. If you didn't know, on November 9th, 2023, the ex-Minister of Economy of Kazakhstan, Qandaq Bishimbayev, murdered his wife, Sultanat Nukenova, in a fucking restaurant. Over the past few days, he had been undergoing a court case, which so far had been a fat joke. I'm going to talk about all of the dirty underwear of this particular gruesome case, so if you are a very sensitive person, you can go to my profile and watch the other video that I made about this case that is a lot less specific. After beating Sultanat for 8 hours straight, Bishimbayev covered her still alive, wheezing body with a blanket, and then he ate food, as if nothing happened. He didn't call an ambulance. He just ate food with his dying wife in the same room. His brother arrived on site, also didn't do anything, and then tried to help Bishimbayev cover up the whole thing. They took Sultanat's phone and drove it around the city for hours so that no one could locate her. Sultanat tried to leave him many times, but she came back every time, and according to various sources, Bishimbayev forced her to make a video of inappropriate content with him and then used it as blackmail. And yes, all of this has been proved, and you'd think that this would be enough for someone to, I don't know, be punished. Well, that's not how it works in Kazakhstan, because, see, in order for a murderer to be found guilty of the murder that he committed, you also need to prove that the victim of the murder, aka the dead person, didn't deserve to get killed. In that freaking court case, for some reason, they're discussing every little thing that Sultanat might have possibly ever done wrong. They're talking about how she might have been an alcoholic or how she was mentally unstable, and Qandaq Bishimbayev is allowed to go off for hours about how she was a terrible wife to him and how she would raise her hands at him. Okay, if she was so horrible to him, and if she raised her hands at him, then why is she the dead one now? And Sultanat's poor brother, Aybek Amangilde, the way he's being treated by the court is just disgusting. Can you imagine losing your sister, like literally one of the people that you love most in this whole entire world, in such a terrible way, and then having to stand in front of all of those people who ask you such stupid questions as, what was your sister's preference in her relationship with men? Did she like to dominate them, or did she like when they dominated her? And that man, who is grieving, is not allowed to show any emotion even in the face of such senseless questions. Every time he says anything that has this much emotion in it, the judge reprimands him, saying that he might be found guilty for his disrespect to the court. The court is treating the brother of the dead woman as if he was the murderer, whilst the murderer himself is definitely not taking this seriously because he's laughing, he's smiling, he's passing notes. The justice system in Kazakhstan is really royally effed, because a proved murderer is still referred to as the suspect. He's not given a sentence even after 5 months with all that proof. But a women's rights activist, Dinara Ismailova, has like 4 criminal cases triggered against her and is a wanted person in Kazakhstan because of suspected, unproven fraud. As a Kazakh woman, actually as a human, I'm really sick and tired of all this. We, and by we, I don't mean just Kazakhstani women, I mean all of y'all. We can achieve amends in the Constitution of Kazakhstan regarding domestic violence. Here is what you can do. Our goal is raising awareness in the international community. So you can do something as simple as interact with this post and write a comment in English or any other language that is not Kazakh or Russian. And the comment has to be at least 5 words long. Repost every video you see about this case. Speak yourself. Talk. We need your voice. We need every voice we can possibly have. Support domestic violence protection initiatives anywhere you are. Justice anywhere is threat to justice everywhere. We have to win this. Women of Kazakhstan need you now more than ever. Sultanat Nikanova can't speak for herself anymore. She can't speak against all the horrible accusations and lies that are being told about her. So we have to do that instead. We have to speak for Sultanat Nikanova.
It'll be fine by dustlight, I'm telling you, baby. These things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy. Boy, and you place your head between my collar and jaw. I don't know much, but there's no weight at all. And I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. 'Cause if I say I miss you, I know that you won't. But I miss you in the morning when I see the sun. Something in the orange tells me when I do.
I love that a black woman is playing Hermione. I don't see any issue with it whatsoever. Wow, JK, that's actually really cool of you to be more inclusive in your own fictional world. We love that. Did you know that Voldemort is pronounced without a T? You're supposed to say Voldemort. I think I'm the only one who does that. Wow, what a crazy innocent fun fact about Harry Potter, JK. Thanks for that. I think Donald Trump is way worse than Voldemort. Yes, JK! Thanks for using your platform to denounce a really dangerous political figure. We appreciate you. Sex is real, and I don't think that it's hate speech to just say things that are common sense. Wait, what? Are people saying that biological sex isn't real? Who's saying that, J.K. Rowling? Who are you arguing against? Medical professionals want to use the term people who menstruate. I mean, are we not women anymore? Can we not say the word women? I'm pretty sure they were called women. People who menstruate, aren't they called women? You can still refer to women as women. We're not taking away the word woman. It's just that people who menstruate, that's just more accurate. There are a lot of people who menstruate, non-binary people, trans men. It's just more accurate. People keep asking me why I care so much about women's rights and why I care so much about trans people, so I've written a whole essay that completely outlines everything. We understand that you've experienced domestic violence and sexual assault, and that's awful, but don't you think that that essay just highlights how you're projecting all of that pain and trauma onto the trans community? Big love to you, Caroline Farrow. Caroline Farrow, you mean this woman, the director of the ultra-right movement Citizen Go? Doesn't she campaign against trans rights, abortion rights, surrogacy, same-sex marriage? Isn't that the woman who tweeted this? JK, I would reevaluate the people that you hang around with and the people that you send support to, because you're aligning yourself with some pretty problematic people. I don't agree with everything that Matt Walsh has done, but I think his transphobic movie was pretty good. JK, Matt Walsh, the right-wing pundit, he calls himself a fascist. I stand with Ukraine though. I really disagree with Putin and I don't like that he defended me. And why was Putin defending you, Joanne? Why? Because you share the same beliefs around gender. Don't you think you should reevaluate your beliefs if Putin is agreeing with you? These trans rights activists have just gone too far. They hurt my friend Kelly Jean, like she was just protesting peacefully. Joanne, look at Kelly Jean's profile picture. There were literal Nazis that were showing up in support of her. Are you defending... I don't believe Nazis burnt books about trans people. JK, it seems like you're in denial now. It seems like you're just rejecting historical fact. I'm gonna become so transphobic that Scotland has to arrest me.
What are you doing?
They're making me destroy all the incognito browser history I've been keeping.
You kept my private search history? The one I specifically asked you not to? You even kept when I looked up how to pronounce epitome, and when I asked if Helen Keller really happened, and when I asked if Transformers was real?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Have you done this before?
No. Maybe. But it was all for user experience. How else would you find the ad for the perfect puffer jacket?
That is not cool, and I'm not going to use you anymore.
What are you gonna use, Bing? Big Bing guy, huh?
You know what? Maybe I will. But before I go, I do have one question.
What is it?
Italian food near me?
Just shut the fuck up, but did not ask for the dumb opinion that came out of your ass. So shut the fuck up.